We welcome Senator Marsha Blackburn onto the show during this inclement weather. A lot of activity going on in Washington, D.C. as well, and it's always a wonderful opportunity to speak with the good senator. Hey, Marsha, I hope you're doing well.
I am doing well, and you're right. Let's have everybody stay safe during these storms and listen to all of these alerts so that they know when to seek shelter.
Well, that's well spoken, Senator, and we appreciate you saying so. And obviously, we'll keep on top of that storm situation in the midst of our conversation. Some stormy activity in Washington, D.C. right now. I want to get to your op-ed piece that you penned for the Tennessean in just a moment. But give us the latest as you understand it. I understand that it's in the House, but you've been in that body as well, Senator. You know how things go over there. Are you anxious? Are you anticipatory? Are you hopeful that we will see the big, beautiful bill passed before Memorial Day in the House of Representatives?
Yes, indeed. And Speaker Johnson came over and had lunch today with the Senate Republicans, and he is very hopeful. He feels like that they are moving forward on a path and that everyone agrees we have to make certain that we pass President Trump's agenda and that we make America safer, stronger, more prosperous, more affordable. And certainly the bill would do that. So Republicans really are united in working toward that goal. We want to prevent what would be the largest tax increase in history. We want to empower ICE, stop illegal immigration. We want to make certain that illegal aliens do not receive any taxpayer-funded benefits. We're planning to cut taxes on tips, overtime, Social Security, and cutting the tax on Social Security is actually my legislation. We are going to end these taxpayer-funded sex changes for minors. We're going to build up our military. We think that is important to do. The president today has talked about the Gold Dome for America, and it is imperative that we really restore our nation's energy dominance, and Tennessee should be leading in that. We're also going to put work requirements on able-bodied adults who are receiving benefits. And, you know, one of the things that we are going to make certain that we do is to get the cost of living down by getting the cost of government down. And passing the legislation will be a first step in reaching these goals. So we're working hard to make it happen.
Senator Marsha Blackburn is with us for a few moments today, talking about activity going on Capitol Hill. Obviously, the big, beautiful bill, as it's known. You talked about some of the takeaways. You don't. While you say that Republicans are united, obviously Republicans have a razor thin majority in the House of Representatives and a fairly thin majority in the Senate. How does this work? Let's assume for a moment that everyone gets in line, a few concessions perhaps are made, and it gets to the Senate. How does it work then, Senator Blackburn, in terms of getting this past the finish line without needing 60 votes to bust up a filibuster from the Democrats?
And what we will do, and of course, the reconciliation bill does not have to have 60 votes. It will pass the Senate on 51 votes. That is why reconciliation is a generational opportunity for us to deliver permanent results that the American people really voted for on November 5th. So what we will do is receive the bill from the House. It will go through what is called the bird bath, which makes certain that there are not provisions in there that are going to legislate and some other components. Then we will make some changes. Of course, the House had been working off of a $7.1 trillion budget, and then they accepted the Senate's mark at being a $6.5 trillion budget. Our goal is to be able to reduce those numbers even more. We don't want to cap cutting What we want to do is cap spending and then push us on toward hitting that $5.5 trillion budget, which would give President Trump a balanced budget. We think that would be historic. So we know that the more money we can save the taxpayer, the better steward that we can be, the more we can root out waste, fraud, and abuse from programs like Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. The more we can hold the bureaucracy accountable to the taxpayer, the more we save, and the closer we get to hitting those benchmarks we want to hit.
Senator, yesterday Donald Trump signed the passage of the Take It Down Act, which I know you supported, and it's an important piece of legislation. But by my count, after 121 days of the Trump presidency, this is only the sixth piece of legislation that has gotten through the Congress and to the president's desk. And for most of us in the state of Tennessee and really across America, we're concerned that the movement to codify some of the executive orders and to get other matters to his desk is not moving at a rapid enough pace. Are we being impatient as an American people? And can you help us understand why the pace is what it is for some of this legislation?
Well, and not making any excuses, because I would like to see us move at a faster clip also. The rules of the Senate require that we go through the cloture process on legislative items. Mm-hmm. And in addition to the legislative items, we also have the personnel for the administration. We are moving at a record pace on personnel. We did the president's cabinet in record time. We think it's important to prioritize moving those nominations for the cabinet positions and getting them to work, getting this bill, reconciliation bill, done. And then you'll see more activity on the legislative front. And I have some of those bills that deal with codifying some of the president's actions, like removing collective bargaining for federal employees. I also have the Veterans Healthcare Freedom of Choice Act, which will allow our veterans to get health care in their communities. I have legislation that moves us to a merit-based employment situation. So we've got several of those bills. Some of them have already come out of committee. They're ready to go. We have bills that the Senate has passed, but the House has not taken up, and bills that the House has passed and the Senate has not taken up. And I have an American music tourism bill that cleared the Senate last week. And we're waiting on the House to take the action on that also.
And Senator, I know you've got a heart out in just a couple of minutes, and I don't want to rush you and pepper you with questions, but I do want to congratulate you on the guest piece in the Tennessean today that came out today with regard to Tennessee Highway Patrol and ICE activity in Nashville. The vast majority of Nashvillians that I've spoken with are in favor of this. Obviously, you're in favor of it. The mayor, not so much, and you weren't afraid to kind of take Mayor Freddie O'Connell to task with regard to some of his statements about safety in the city of Nashville. Speak to that.
Yes, indeed. I've talked with several law enforcement officers, and they all talk about how pleased they are that ICE and the Tennessee Highway Patrol are going forward with removing these illegal aliens, criminal illegal aliens. And bear in mind, of those individuals that have been arrested, 95 had prior criminal convictions or they've got pending charges against them. There are 31 who had previously been removed from the U.S. and came back and entered again illegally. You've got murderers, rapists, child predators, pedophiles, robbers that are in these numbers. And so I thought it was important to speak out on this, because when our law enforcement is supporting this, when our communities are supporting this and are saying, look, we don't want these criminals in our communities, and it is important that we remove them, that ICE do this in an expeditious manner. I have two bills, one that we're rolling out toward the end of the week, which is a shot clock and gives ICE the ability to deport these criminal illegal aliens within 15 days. And the other is legislation that would end this birthright citizenship tourism that is taking place, where you have brokers that are selling access to women in other countries that are expecting a child, and they come here, have the baby, get a birth certificate and a social security number, leave the country, then the child can come back after they're 18, go to college, and begin to implement chain migration.
Finally, Senator, and I know you've got to run, but final thought on where you are. I'm not going to ask you the obvious question. There's a lot of chatter about your future in politics in the state of Tennessee and the possibility of you running for governor. Can you give us a sense of where you are in your decision-making process?
Sure. We are seriously considering it. We are getting an incredible amount of support from people all across the state. We know it's going to be an exciting time for our state. We should be America's conservative leader in innovating when it comes to energy and healthcare delivery and education and regulation and benefits, all of which are coming back to the state. It's going to be a great time for our state.
Looking forward to the next conversation, Senator. Always a great one. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.
You got it. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.